Two Blue Vortex Chapter 16 has immense revelations about Boruto becoming the strongest of all time. History is repeating itself, with Kashin Koji acting just like my OG GOAT, Jiraiya, teaching him how to do flying Raijin like Minato and to become a singularity that defies fate. But that's not all. There is a literal, and I mean woo, catfight for Boruto's love due to his unmatched aura. Sumire and Sarada discuss their feelings for him and have a falling out.
Awkward.
And speaking of that, Gaara and Shinki are literally falling into a grave, if not for Team 7 reforming to start the war against Shinju, where there's even a possibility that Naruto's daughter Himawari could die. Chapter 16 begins 2 years in the past, with Kashin Koji explaining space-time ninjutsu. It's a basic ability for Otsutsuki to teleport, just like flying is, where Boruto has done it before, but in a very limited way. According to Koji's future sight ability, Boruto 6 years from now, when he is 20 years old, he will manage to succeed in controlling and creating a different version of the flying Raijin technique. But how? Well, Boruto assigns chakra into ninja tools and senses them to teleport just like Minato. But Kashin Koji affirms that Boruto's version is different because he had to search for a way to control it. He named it Flying Raijin in honor of Minato, but in functionality, he doesn't actually know that technique. He's using different fundamentals through Otsutsuki means, like one difference for instance is Minato using sealed markings to teleport, whilst Boruto is using objects. Boruto glazes himself.
What did he say?
That sounds kinda wrong, that just came out of my mouth. But he kinda does, cause Boruto realizes his future self, he may be a genius, but still feels the pressure. So he gets to I can't believe that. Okay, wait, let me get hold of myself. But Boruto still feels the pressure, so he gets to training right away, where he practices with shuriken. Any ninja tool can be used for teleportation if it's within visible range, as it is more accurate and easier to imagine. However, there's a catch. If Boruto places the same chakra-infused tool in the north and in the south, when he decides to teleport, he won't know which shuriken he would teleport to. Therefore, he needs each and every tool to be distinctive enough so that he can imagine it in his mind, thus explaining why he states he needs to concentrate in chapter 4 and that he's not as good as Minato. As a result, to create a solution, Kashin Koji tells Boruto that his future self would think of shapes where the symbol represents figures that can be uniquely imagined. This would allow him to teleport great distances like he has done so in multiple chapters in the past. So this pretty much now explains why Boruto's new design has so many different things attached to his clothes, and I know some people like to make fun out of it. My man looks like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure character with 2 belts, all these pins and shit. Bruh, I'm telling you, he's still the most dripped out new gen MC out there. Can we just say that? Hey, we have to admit it.
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts. These facts is not facts.
However, this is where things got really confusing, as Kashin Koji mentions the concept of many future timelines and a singularity. But don't worry, I'm gonna break everything down just for you, so make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Kashin Koji explains that Boruto can become so powerful so fast because they are skipping multiple steps of trial and error to gain new jutsu. They don't have to theory craft and experiment to gain knowledge over years of time. Instead, they are getting it in mere minutes. Like, imagine in the early 1900s or even 1800s, humans already gained knowledge of everything that Einstein and Oppenheimer and all the modern scientists have discovered instantly. That would mean the entire landscape of the world would be different, right? So although they know what to do, Boruto has to train extensively to make the knowledge usable. And to be honest, the way Kashin Koji has been written to logically explain explain the phenomena of his future sight, it's great. It's definitely linking to the whole idea of Ishiki calling him the star of change via being a singularity. As Boruto questions if a good or bad future can be seen, wouldn't it be better to inform everyone for their help, which would move everything in a positive direction? But Kashin Koji, he brilliantly explains the idea of a butterfly effect, or essentially the idea of cause and effect. Ironically, if people are told their future and the more they understand what's going on, that will only make the future Koji sees change even more and become unpredictable. Why? Well, that knowledge will stop them from doing certain actions or behaving differently, which causes a ripple effect through time. Therefore, Kashin Koji drops the coldest line stating, for better or worse, to know the future leads to the act of destroying it. As a result, the more they learn about future timelines, the more Kashin Koji and Boruto will deviate from the line of destiny, as they would become singularities, with Ada included. Now, we all know the themes of Boruto's manga, right? The whole idea of technology being good or bad, with Shinju representing the rise of AI and also Boruto defying fate. Well, Kijimoto and Ikimoto cook and know exactly what they are doing, because the idea of a singularity is a moment in the future when change becomes so extreme and fast that life as we know it completely transforms and the future becomes impossible to predict. And guess what? It's often connected to technologies such as artificial intelligence, which might one day become so advanced that it can improve itself without human help. This could lead to super intelligent systems that solve massive problems, or the opposite, massive destruction. For example, imagine if AI becomes smarter than every human combined. It could change the economy, create new inventions, and solve mysteries of the universe. But its decisions might be hard for us to control or understand. A singularity is the turning point where everything we know could change forever. For example, the use of Ada's power to alter reality completely rewrites people's memories, flipping Boruto from hero to fugitive and Kawaki into a savior. This mirrors the idea of a singularity, because the world changes so drastically that nothing feels the same anymore, and the future becomes uncertain. Eida is even listening to their entire conversation in chapter 16, which Kashin Koji points out. Now, the Boruto series heavily features advanced technology like scientific research that amplifies abilities far beyond natural limits, and these tools echo the concerns of a singularity. When technology or power grows too advanced, it can escape control and reshape the world in ways that people can't see. Just as Kara's technological advancement and scientific experiments that they have already done, and now it's Jura, the leader of the Shinju. But that's not all. Both Boruto and Kawaki embody singularity-like transformations, with Kashin Koji stating they must support the journey towards a good future from behind the scenes without everyone knowing of it. So now do you realize how peak this is, how they connected their real life concept into the very manga?
I mean, fire! Oh, what do you say, bro? Like, yo, this is peak.
This leads to Sarada and Sumire asking Ada to spill the tea on Boruto as she used the Senragan viewing the past. She explains to them that Boruto deliberately doesn't tell them the complete truth out of their protection and has good reason. However, Sarada, embodying the Hokage mindset, doesn't want him to carry on all the burden on his own. He shouldn't deal with the common enemy of Shinju without relying on them for help. But when Sarada demands Ada to locate Boruto, Sumire interrupts and tells them they should respect his wishes. After all, they are openly supporting a fugitive whom they have not much information or intel about for the public to understand their reasoning to support him. So because of that, they shouldn't be chasing Boruto. However, Sarada, she makes a good point that he almost died against Jura instantly if it wasn't for Himawari healing him. In every future that Koji sees, Boruto dies by the the hands of Juro. But this is where the drama all begins. Get your tea, bruh, cause you're about to have a good time. Sumire tells Sarada to consider Boruto's feelings. He isn't acting cold willingly. There are things he wants to talk about but can't. Things he wants to feel but hasn't. For example, he's missing years with his sister, father and mother, which Kawaki could have fixed but didn't. He missed out on being happy even for a single moment for 3 years, knowing Momoshiki can appear and that the planet is going to be destroyed. Sumire even argues that it could be their fault that caused Boruto to die in these multiple timelines, since they can make a mistake or the cause and effect chain that alters fate would make Boruto act different that leads to his death. She then informs Sarada to think about the pain Boruto is going through, but also her feelings as well. Sumire loves Boruto romantically, and secretly Sarada does as well and isn't ready to admit it. However, when they saw Boruto for the first time in 3 years, she is the one that rushed to him to hug and express those very feelings bottled up inside. Bro, take a look at chapter 5 again. Sumire is literally a third wheel.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
Anyway, due to this drama, Sumire apologizes and leaves while Sarada still calls her class rep, in which Sumire states, "Bitch, how long you gonna call me class rep?" Now obviously this is because she quit being a ninja a long time ago to join the science division, but also Boruto in chapter 6 called her class rep as well. However, being in love, she doesn't want to be perceived in that manner anymore. She doesn't like that they only see her in one lens rather than the real Sumire. She wants Boruto to see the real her, the real Sumire that he can fall in love with, just like he was about to in his childhood when Boruto was asked who he liked, and then he blushed when Sumire was mentioned. And he's the one that saved her from despair by understanding the truth of her past during the New Way arc. Now, with the cat fight out of the way, Shikamaru does a Discord call with Eida to meet up, whilst the daimyo talk to the old heads yet again. He complains that Boruto escaped and pressures them to kill him no matter what. Otherwise, he will find someone appropriate to get the job done. So, what is this now? 15 death flags for Boruto's character? But good luck, because Boruto is the strongest of all time. And by the way, why do these old heads listen to the daimyo like slaves? Cause seriously, it got me thinking, right? So I looked it up, and bruh, the Hokage, he has no real power, bro. Like, what the frick is the difference between daimyo and Hokage? Hokage are responsible for most of the village's day-to-day affairs, such as assigning the ninja to missions or securing funding for the village projects and personnel. But I found out, is that the Hokage, they're just a bitch to the daimyo, because they are the actual political leader of a country, responsible for all decisions concerning their country. Like, man, you learn something new every day. That Hokage title is a fraud. Cause despite Hokage having strength, they can't defy these stupid old heads, even if they are acting dumb, selfish, corrupt. Maybe Zabuza, Pain, and the others were right. I thought Naruto would have reformed this shit by now. But you see, Shikamaru ain't no bitch, because he is defying them all. He's a big brain and the GOAT for a reason. Eida informs him of Ryu being born through Shinki, with Gaara being sealed away. He immediately decides to form a team to save Gaara before Ryu can kill the Kazekage, but Eida reveals another secret. She will no longer use the Senragan to view things in real time, because the Shinju can peer into her, causing massive danger. This will essentially allow the writers to still create plot twists and unpredictability like Kashin Koji said, as we can't say, oh, why didn't Eida just tell them everything because she can see things in real time. So they kind of fixed that plot hole per se for future chapters. But Eida also knows that Shikamaru is no longer under omnipotence and was the one who freed Boruto. she will keep it a secret and doesn't want things to be harder for him. After all, he hasn't told a single lie till now, unlike the person Eida is in love with, which is Kawaki. Eida, over the years, has actually grown scared of Kawaki, and since she's found out in chapter 16 through Kashin Koji that she can change fate due to being a singularity, Eida's starting to believe she made the wrong choice, because it has been foreshadowed that she is also starting to like Boruto romantically, making this harem even more complicated. However, Kashin Koji then reveals himself. He informs Shikamaru to form Team 7 again and deploy them to the land of Wind. Future Sight gave them the knowledge that Ryu and Matsuri will show up there. But there's one crucial rule Shikamaru must follow. Himawari is not allowed to leave the village, because if she does, Juro will kill her straight away. So you're probably wondering, why doesn't he just do that right away? Well, Juro, although the strongest character in the entire series so far, like ever, where Kashin Koji states there is an absolute zero chance of victory against him, like a sentient AI that wants to seek knowledge, he too is compelled to do so, being fascinated by human culture. He wants to learn more about Konoha and visit its library, so he will not destroy the village due to the value he holds for knowledge. On the other hand, Shikamaru can't believe this man is serious right now. Like, bro, he's meant to casually walk into our village and we're meant to treat him like a civilian? But Kashin Koji, acting just like Jiraiya, gives a heartwarming moral support to the Hokage, commending him for his bravery to go against the law without evidence. Shikamaru is a reliable person that followed his heart, where a good future can be achieved from the shadows after all, and people like him are rare to find. This leads to another foreshadowing that Ada starts thinking she should do the same, follow her heart, which of course is falling in love with Boruto. Now, with a little time skip, we move on to the land of Wind, where the next arc of the manga has started. There's this cool panel of them looking drippy as hell, but Mitsuki and Konohamaru catch Sarada dozing off, thinking about what Sumire said about her feelings for Boruto and considering his pain, with Arya and Yodo showing up joining the gang, where even Arya of all people calls out Sarada for loving Boruto since her aura has changed. So Mitsuki wonders where Shikamaru got this intel from, because remember, omnipotence is not affecting him as much anymore, so he suspects the Hokage is also on Boruto's side, since he believes our MC is the son after their fight in earlier chapters revealing the truth. They finally locate Ryu and Matsuri, which will only lead to a fight. And speaking of fight, what if Boruto faced Asta in Black Clover? Who is stronger and would win a death battle? We'll find out here by clicking on the video.